everyone. My name is Matthew Sudbury.
And I'm Martinez Milton.
And this is the Blender 2.0. Donald Glover is an American writer, musician, actor, comedian, and social activist. Glover is responsible for writing and starring in the FX television show Atlanta, which is known for its writing and social commentary. On Monday, Glover released This Is America, a music video and song covering racial issues in America. In the music video, Glover and a few others can be seen dancing to hip-hop music while chaos unfolds in the background. The music video referenced topics such as gun control, race riots, police brutality, Jim Crow, and even went as far as referencing death and the four horsemen of the apocalypse. So, before we talk about this, Alexis is not with us.
Yeah.
Hey, Alexis. I know she watches this because she manages us. But anyway, what do you think about the music video?
Well, I thought the music video was actually genius. I think, as always, he has Childish Gambino always has something great to offer us. Either if it's from the simplest type of song all the way to something so creative and complex as what he just released. But I think the video actually was a great representation of the turmoil that America is in. And I think if we were all just a little understanding of what he's talking about, I think we can come to a understanding that he's not doing it in a malicious way. He's doing it to wake up our country. And, I don't think it may fully wake up our country, but I think we should look at it as a wake-up call, like, hey, let's get our stuff together. But some people may look at it and even laugh, you know, because they're ignorant to the simple fact that, hey, they don't even know their history, or they don't care about their history, and they're not trying to change it either. And with things like that happening, with people not knowing their history, they tend to repeat history. And so I think him doing that, Childish Gambino doing that, was a good way for not only America to wake up, but the black community wake up too. It's not just America, it's the black community as well that needs to wake up and realize, hey, we need to stick together, we need to stop killing each other, we need to be the best us we can be. And like I was telling you last week, with the whole Kanye situation, sometimes handouts is necessary, but it's also up to us to make our own future a priority too. I completely agree with everything you said. I think the guy's great. I watched a lot, because the first time I saw this video, I was home this weekend and I saw that he released a new video, and I just kind of watched it and I really didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, that's a pretty weird video. And then, and I was like, oh, okay, he's whatever. And then I saw this traction it was getting, and then like a lot of big YouTubers that I watched, like they started like analyzing the video and like going frame by frame and like, it's a reference to this or it's a reference to this. And the more I like watched it and the more I like paid attention, because it is one of those things that you do have to watch more than once to get. I thought it was awesome. Like right when it starts, he references Jim Crow right before he shoots the guy. The guy looks like Trayvon Martin's dad. It's not Trayvon Martin's dad. Me and the producer talked about that, but it's some other guy. There's that, like he's dressed in like, his pants are like reference to the Confederate thing. Like there's so much symbolism, like the apocalypse, like the dance they do is South African. Like and I think, wasn't the kids supposed to represent the struggle in South Africa? And
there's something like that
coming up as well.
There was like these two like chickens, like one was brown and one was white, but they were like going different directions. There were kids with like they had scarves or just white cloth around their mouth, but they were filming everything to show like the police brutality filmings. There's just so much to unload. There's probably stuff that like we haven't even caught. The guy who directed that music video, he makes a lot of cool music videos. He made the Forrest Gump music video for Frank Ocean. He made the Chum video for Earl Sweatshirt. And I think that it's also good that a lot of other rappers are talking about this too. Like Jay-Z, I think we talked about this on like the very first Blender, but 444, like when the Grammys came out and he made the story of OJ and he talked about like,
I remember that.
He talked about like how like he pretty much talked about like what this video would reference and like climbing out and the struggle and like not falling back in. There's just a lot, and I think it's really good that this video came out.
But it's also that it's great that you mentioned that, because you remember when Jay-Z made that movie about the downfall of the black community and everything, the cartoon.
And
everybody was like, he making black people look like monkeys and all this different type of stuff. But they didn't get the actual message until a couple of months later, and it became a very inspirational video. But I think sometimes it has to take people a couple of times to digest it, because we have to first go through our mind, and then we have to get into their mindset as well, and then look at our history. But for those of you who don't know your history, it is important that you find out your history, because when people find out their history, they tend to do better.
Yes. I just think it's great, and I'm really glad that it came out, and I think everything that we've said is pretty spot on. The one thing, though, that we didn't touch on is I think that it's really good that he did this as well, because, like, Atlanta is his show, and that's pretty much like this as a thing. But he also like makes music, and he also is like such a big actor, and he was on Community and all that. I think that there's no better person to do this, because since he is in so many like things that involve culture, and he can reach so many people.
And he can sing.
He can
really
sing.
Can.
He can.
And you know, when I first seen him, and he had that one song, Redbone.
Yes.
You know, I actually thought it was a woman at first. And then when I first seen him perform, I'm like, he has some serious octaves.
Yeah.
Just, woo, and it's just high. And he's awesome with what he sings, but it's great.
Yeah. You can guide us into our next place, speaking of controversies.
Yeah. But next up, the annual Met Gala took place this past week in New York City. The star-studded event is notable for its stylish fashion and often pushes cultural boundaries. This year's theme was Heavenly Bodies, Fashion and Catholic Imagination. The theme caused controversy, as stars like Rihanna could be seen wearing an outfit inspired by the Pope, and even went as far as wearing a similar headdress. Many say that this could be seen as a mockery of the Catholic Church.
Yes.
So what are some of your opinions about the Met Gala, and what do you think about their theme? Do you think it was smart? Do you think it was not the best choice?
Yeah.
You know.
I also think that, so to start this off, I think it's like most communities or things where a lot of it's tame, but the people who are extreme get a lot of the things. Because we were looking at, for the viewer, we were looking at outfits at the start, like before this started, and like Elon Musk was normal, like Miley Cyrus was normal. Like there's a lot of normal people who just had like, either it was black.
That's something new, because you know Miley, she usually do it.
Yeah,
you know,
she twerks on stage and wears plastic, and
her hair is different colors and shades and all those different.
Yeah, but like there was a lot of normal people, but then like Katy Perry wore giant angel wings. Madonna had a literal church on her head, like it said there. Rihanna.
Madonna is always extra. She's
yeah,
like
she kind of gets that. Beyonce had a giant halo. Like there's a lot of weird.
She's known for the halo, you know. No, I take that back. Solange actually arrived to the gala with a black type of, I don't know what it was, but it resembled a snake.
Okay.
And I was just like, is she referencing Genesis?
Yeah.
You know, with the snake and apple, but I just didn't get it.
I know Migos wore like a lot of flashy Migos stuff because they're Migos, but Jared Leto wore like a crown and he had like a big satchel, but he looks like Jesus. But I think so he can get away with that.
And one of the stars, I don't know her name in particular, but she wore a what is it? A halo or what? Not a halo, but a garment over her head.
Yeah.
And she resembled Mary, and she had the little pearls and everything, and she looked it very decent. But I think overall that the theme, it was a nice theme, but I think sometimes people can get caught up too much in the theme and push aside the message.
Yes.
But congrats to them, they did awesome. But, you know, sometimes it's too far as getting the Pope's hat and stuff like that. But you did your thing, Rihanna. I ain't mad at you, but... You know,
I actually didn't know. I know you're here. I asked Kim. She's working behind that camera over there. She's one of our lovely workers. I had no idea what the Met Gala actually was. I just knew people dressed up. So, like, that whole message of the actual gala completely lost to me. Like, I had no idea. So again, I think that too says a lot, that we focus more on people dressing up and the message and like who's showing up here than what the actual event itself is.
And if we, and that's crazy because I just had to backtrack in my mind. I don't think we even mentioned what was the main cause of the event.
Yes.
Anybody know?
It was
to raise money, right? Or something?
No, it was something to do with like an art museum, right? Just
yes.
The Met Gala is an
Now
art
I
museum.
remember. Okay, but you see how the main focus of an event can be thrown off just by a few small things. But,
right. And it was its focus too. Like, nobody was talking about if they raised money, how much money they raised. No one was talking about what was actually at the Met Gala. It's like, oh, look at Rihanna. Ha ha ha.
I bet her dress cost a lot.
I bet, like that was probably a thing.
But we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Are you bored on campus? Then come down to Warhawk Alley in the University Center. We have everything you need to take a break from your studies and have a great time. So come blow off some steam with our air hockey, darts, foosball, video games, 8 top-of-the-line Brunswick pool tables, and our 10-lane bowling alley. We have nightly specials, blacklight bowling, tournaments, and tons of chances to win prizes. For more information or to set up a reservation, call Warhawk Alley at 262-472-5681.
Lolade Sinyabola, a black graduate student at Yale University, was writing a paper in the comments area at the university and just so happened fell asleep, as many college students do. I know I do. But the woman then addressed her and asked whether or not she attended the school, and told her that she could not sleep in the common area. Reports state that the woman then called the police on Sinyabola, reporting that an unauthorized person was in the commons area. Topics like these are something we usually cover on a regular basis on this show. So I'm feeling some type of way, because this is not the first incident that's happened. It's like, what you doing? But was that right for her to call the police on this young lady?
Of course not. I think, again, like you said, this is not the first time. Like you mentioned earlier, the Starbucks incident that happened, the one where it was either Howard or Harvard, where they said that the tour guide made them uncomfortable due to the race, so they had to step out.
I think she called the police on them because they were secretly too quiet.
Yeah, there's just...
Come on, people, really? Ain't nobody trying to hurt you. I promise you we not.
I would think, too, at a place like Yale, if you're in an Ivy League school, you wouldn't...
But I think they have their property on a good lockdown where can't nobody just walk in there and just, hey,
these are the smartest kids. They're not going to just nobody's just going to wander in and
and then for her to tell her, hey, I go here.
Yeah, and be like, no, you don't.
You just going to tell me I don't go here.
Yeah.
Do you pay
Here's
tuition?
My ID.
I'll be like, do you pay tuition? But,
there's just a lot of stuff going on.
Stop making prejudgments.
Yeah.
You don't know what that person been through.
There's a lot of stuff going on a lot of college campuses all across the U.S. Even here, there's stuff going on. I know you wanted to talk about this, so I'll let you do it.
Yeah, even on our university, we exactly don't have the same issues with telling, students, hey, you don't belong on this campus when they clearly saying they do.
Yes.
But right now, we are going through a area in our school where some of our fraternities is going through a major kind of downfall, especially 2 of them. Elaborate on that a little.
You want me to?
Yes.
Okay.
You know some stuff about this.
No, I work for the Royal Purple. I am a member of a fraternity here on campus, but it's not that bad as you made it out to be. Our biggest fraternity here on campus was suspended for 5 years because they had an informal formal. They were on suspension for reasons that we cannot say on air.
Right.
And then they, I think it was 14 or 15 guys went to their formal, and then they got banned, and now there's some backlash for that. Again, not the same scale, but it does show that even here at home, there are things that go awry, even with things that are institutionalized and all of that. Like there's still like problems everywhere. So it's not just a Yale thing. It's not just a race thing. It's like it happens here.
And I think not too long ago, I think around spring break or spring splash that weekend, we had another incident with one of our fraternities. And so, you know, not to put anybody out there or anything, but I do believe this. Things happen.
Right.
You know, everybody on this campus is college students.
Yeah.
The reason why this university exists is because of college students.
Yeah.
You can't have a college with no college student. Am I correct? I know I'm correct. But what I want to say to that is this. If a person tells you they're part of the campus, don't feel it in your heart to make it seem like you in control of everything and tell them they're not. That's like telling me this ain't my house.
Right, and to loop it back to like, it's Pike as they're known. To loop it back to Pike, like it is nobody's place to like, yeah, you can have an opinion on Pike, you can have a Pike opinion, but it's not really your place to say like, oh, here's what happened, or like, here's how I feel about them. It is their situation. They are students, they are grown men, let them deal with it. Same thing with her on campus. She is a grown woman, let her deal with it, let her do her own thing. There is no need to like waltz in and say how you feel and be the dictator of it, because it's just you're a person.
You would think she would learn from the other two incidents. Like, dude, shut your mouth.
Maybe she wanted to make the news.
Leave her alone.
Maybe she wanted
exactly.
to make the news.
Like, get your life together.
Okay. Speaking of adults, the adult animated science fiction comedy series Rick and Morty has been renewed for not one season, not 2 seasons, but for 70 episodes. The show has already earned a cult following and has often been compared to the likes of Futurama, The Simpsons, and Family Guy. So, what role do you think cartoons play in our society today? I saw this earlier today, and I was really happy because I'm a big fan of Rick and Morty. I'm a big fan of BoJack Horseman, which is another like adult cartoon. I'm a big fan of them. But before I go into that rant, what do you think?
Well, what role does cartoon shows play in our society today? You know, I have a little input on this, but I don't have too much just because I stopped watching cartoons a good while ago, but I do have my moments with Toy Story.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
Toy Story the bomb. How you doing? You know, it's awesome because you have Toy Story Land, you have Toy Story 2, you have Toy Story 3, and then you have Monster Inc., you have Monsters University, and I think those are some foundational type of cartoons. But anyway, what does they have to do with the society? I think it has a good amount to do with society. I think when you see kids watching the new movies, what's that movie with the Milana? Is it? Moana, yeah, that movie, that was a good movie, and you know, I think they're good, but on the other side, I will flip and say that the Simpsons and Family Guy and all those, sometimes they put those on air and you have these little kids watching.
Yes.
And then they be saying all this BS and you be like, don't get popped. You know, for real? And it's like, because they'll hear it, they'll hear whatever they hear on TV and they'll say it, and then you end up having them at school and it's like, dang.
I think that has to do more with like parents just not monitoring what their kids watch.
Yeah, but you would think The Simpsons was this.
Yeah. So to play on this, like, because I said earlier, I'm a fan of a lot of these shows. I think that it is nice to have cartoons for adults because there's a weird sense.
That's true.
There is a weird sense of like fun that you can have, like, oh, I'm watching a cartoon, even though a lot of these shows deal with a lot of adult themes. I think that's cool. Like BoJack Horseman specifically deals with like alcoholism and depression. Rick and Morty has a lot of like toilet humor and is very like, ha, it's like grown up Back to the Future with a very immature twist.
And it's crazy you mention that because then I go back to my simple fact that The Simpsons and Family Guy must be adult cartoons then. Or, you know, teenager.
Right.
I was watching it earlier than that.
Yeah. No, I think it's good that these shows are there because again, like you kind of grow with your audience. So when you're young, cartoons have a really big impression, and then you kind of grow up and move on to real shows like Mad Men or Game of Thrones. But then there still is a piece of you that like is totally fine and entranced with cartoons.
Especially Toy Story, I promise you. Some of y'all might not agree with me, some of y'all might be my best friend when it comes to Toy Story. But I mean, Toy Story, they actually did that, and we're going to Disney World this, this summer?
Okay.
And we're going to the exhibit. I'm taking all my nieces and nephews.
Is that the one in, are you going to the one in Florida?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
what
I've been
that's
to.
on the way to the cruise. On the way to
oh, you're going on a Disney cruise?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, yes, indeed.
I'm excited. That sounds really good. You're going to have to keep me in the loop about that. Anyway,
yes.
So enough with cartoons. We'll be back with the blender right after this.
Welcome to Jitters Coffee Lounge. Located on the first floor of the Wells Complex, Jitters is a student-ran, volunteer-based coffee lounge, open nightly from 8 p.m. to midnight. Jitters Coffee Lounge is home to classic hot and frozen drinks with our favorite, the Oreo-gasm. Jitters offers live music, karaoke, and comedy events featuring both local and guest talents. For more information, visit our website at uwww.jitters.org. Jitters Coffee Lounge. We'll keep you up all night.
Some of you all may be feeling the same way I'm feeling. Final exams are here. For many university students, the time of cramming and all-nighters have arrived. So, how do you feel about planning this exam week? And is it going to be a stress on you, and are you already going crazy?
Okay, so most of my finals I'm okay with. So there's a little secret I have to finals that I'm going to share with the world here.
Share it with me.
And you as well. So the secret to not stressing about finals is you do well the rest of the semester, and you make sure you put in the effort for the entire semester, so then when finals comes, you don't get like ruined by doing bad on your finals. That's my little secret for those wondering. But anyway, I'm not worried about most of my finals. Most of my finals are, I can pretty much fail them and do fine, knock on wood. But there are two that I do have to worry about, and that's math, because that is my weakest subject, but this is my last math class of all time. So thank God that is over. And then global perspectives, and the reason why I'm worried about global perspectives, hey Kim, is because it's very much like you just need to know a list of vocab, and if you don't know the list of vocab, you're done.
Oh, global perspectives, the one I got an A in.
Did you get one? Good job.
Yes,
no,
yes.
It's a lot of vocab, and as long as you can remember all the vocab, you'll be fine.
You should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, since you know a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I have faith in myself, and I have faith that the system will work out.
That was a lot of shade.
It was.
That was.
Yeah, we were doing so good this episode, and you stepped on the gas.
You just
had to pull it out of nowhere.
And you know I'm the shade king. Why you do that?
We were so good, Martinez. We were having peace. We were having like a nice little treaty for our last episode, and you broke character.
I broke character. You the one that threw the shade about us studying our semester.
That was for the viewers.
Yeah, well, he's saying to you all study
all 6 people who watched the Blender 2.0. That was for them.
And me, because I said and me. You was like, well, I have a hint for you all. But yeah, I think this week has been very crazy for me. I think as I think about it, I just get depressed. You know?
What finals you got? What finals are you worried about?
Communications 110, audio production, video production, what's the other class? I don't even know.
The reason why I'm worried about video production is because Amal's midterm was like all fill in the blank and true and false, and she said that's how the final will be too.
She is something else. She's the sweetest teacher ever, and God, she's just awesome. But that, man, her test is just like...
Her test, you cannot not know anything.
Man, I be getting emotionally unstable.
Yeah. So speaking of emotionally unstable, as the semester comes to an end, so does the Blender 2.0. This show would not have run as successfully as it did without the help of our crew. So we would like to thank all of them for their contribution. We would also like to thank you, the viewer, even though I just insulted you, I'm sorry, for watching us to discuss this year's hottest topics. That being said, one last question. What is one thing you would have changed this semester in regards to the show or even life?
Hey, want to do it. I was thinking about that same thing when it said to me. It said, what would you like to change? God said to me. I said, I don't know. But seriously, I think this semester has actually not been my best. Because I know when I bring my best, you know, a lot of people have seats. But this semester, I didn't try my best. But next semester, it's going down. Yeah, you know. But I tell you all here at the Blender 2.0, you blenders out there. Yeah, you got that? I hope you did. You didn't catch it. But anyway, for those of you who watched the show, I thank you. It's been a good semester, you know, telling you all the tea and all the shade, because I love throwing shade at Matt.
Yes.
So, you know, even with the show, we have our disagreements and everything, you know, but it's been a good ride. Alexis should have been here. I'm gonna get on her too. Same thing. She should have been here.
Our peacekeeper was gone. For myself, I wouldn't change anything about the show. The show was really fun. It was fun to have like devil's advocacy amongst us and us having banter. Because I think with that, I know to kind of break the fourth wall, all of us hosting the show pretty much have the same like ideas. And the show would be very, very boring if all of us disagreed. So it's nice that we can all banter and argue.
Disagree to agree.
Yes, exactly. And then for life, one thing I would have changed this semester, or not really this semester, this year as a whole, is I definitely took a lot on this year. I didn't necessarily bite off more than I could chew.
I think you did.
But I took a nice amount of everything, but that left very little time for things outside. Like I have very little time for myself to do like things that I truly want to do.
But quick question, with that being said, then you chewing off more than you can take or whatever you said, doesn't that make you feel more accomplished at the end of the semester? Like, hey, I actually did this.
Yeah, but it's really draining. Like I don't have a problem going to bed every night because I'm so exhausted by the time I finally get back to my room.
Me too, like,
that I just get in my bed and I'm out. Like,
you just scared me. You want to send me back 2 shades.
Waking up. No, so that's the only thing I really would have done differently. But yeah, that's really it. I want to thank everybody for joining us on this journey into the Blender.
This has been the Blender 2.0.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes, wonderful.